Good morning students. Welcome to second video of chapter Walls Tell Stories. Students, when you saw the previous video, you must be surprised at this huge Golconda fort and its unique features. Were you surprised at the engineering of artisans of that time? Like me, are you amazed that they could build such structure without using electricity run machines 800 years back? Now let us know more about this structure.
Do you know, in ancient times, water wheels were used to get water from the ponds and rivers. One of the type of the water wheel is the noria. The most common examples consists of a vertical wheel which is slung with a chain of buckets. The buckets hang down into a well which may be up to 26 feet deep. The most primitive norias of this type are driven by donkeys, mules, or oxen. The animal turns another wheel, which is engaging with the noria and so causes it to turn. This causes the buckets to circulate. Nowadays, electricity is used to lift underground water. Boring pipes and tube wells are used.
And you can see drawing of such one water wheel given on page 94 of your book.
In 1686, the Mughal prince Aurangzeb started to lay siege on the fort of Golconda with the intent of claiming Hyderabad, the wealthy capital of the Qutub Shahi dynasty. It wasn't until the year after, in 1687, when Aurangzeb finally managed to breach the fort after a 9-month-long siege. A long deep ditch around the walls of the fort prevented any kind of attack. One can still see the cannon in the fort premises. These were used by Aurangzeb. The cannons were made of bronze. Bronze is one metal that has been used since time immemorial. Even copper and tin were popular metals in the olden days. You can ask the elders in your home about the things made of copper or bronze that were or are used even today.
So we know that our ancestors, they had knowledge of metallurgy. They knew how to make use of various metals.
Tribal people have been using bronze to make many things since ancient time. But how they used to take out copper and tin from deep mines? Have you ever visited a museum? Many old items are kept in the museum. Many things were found when the place around Golconda was dug, like pots, jewelry, swords, etc. They all were made up of things like copper, brass, and bronze.
Have you ever visited a museum? Museum keeps the things of the ancient time and they give us an insight into the life of the people of that era.
Sometimes we can even identify the metals from their color itself. For example, this is a shiny piece of metal which is of bronze, and this blue piece seems to be made of ceramic or clay.
So these blue ceramic, it is famous. You must have heard about the artisans of Rajasthan. They made beautiful ceramic dinner sets and all these beautiful stuff, vases.
In the olden times, emperors and kings tried to make smaller kingdoms a part of their own kingdom. This was either done by friendship, flattery, or even by marriage. Usually, an attack was the last resort. These days, the countries fight with modern technologies such as nuclear bombs. An attack on Iraq is a recent war in history.
Or nowadays, I think they are using countries are using biological weapons.
Today, even after almost 800 years, the fort still stands. One of its greatest engineering marvels is the fantastic acoustic effects. One hand clap at Fateh Darwaza can be heard at the highest point of the pavilion, almost a kilometer away. This was said to be used for warning the royals in case of an attack.
To see this effect, I would really like to visit this Golconda Fort in person.
National monuments are public property as well as our cultural heritage. We should take care not to spoil them. We should never write on the walls of the monuments, neither we should dirty the premises. Even touching the walls can lead to their deterioration. Do you know? Cinema plays a very important role in refreshing the ancient culture of the past and educating the people about the eras gone by. Can you name any film that has revived the past for you? The people in the past used more of handmade and natural things than today. The artisan and craftsmen of those times used to work extensively with chisel and hammer to make beautiful carvings. During the dig of the Golconda fort, many bronze and clay items were excavated. Also found were pots, jewelry, and swords. These items are kept in the Hyderabad Museum. It is due to these items that we come to know more about that era of time.
Have you ever visited a museum? We have beautiful museums in Delhi and Jaipur also.
See the painting above. It was made many centuries back. What can you make out from the painting? Through the help of ancient work of art, we are able to learn how people lived in those times. For example, the use of a sloping surface to lift heavy things and the use of a mashak, leather bag.
One such painting is given on page 98, and you can study it in detail, and you would learn how the people they used to work together to make some structures, and even the women they would help in their own special ways.
Recap. Golconda Fort was the capital of the ancient kingdom of Golconda. Qutub Shahi kings expanded the mud fort into a massive and expansive fort. In the olden times, emperors and kings tried to make smaller kingdoms a part of their own kingdom. We should take care not to spoil them.
So we learned about this Golconda Fort in detail, and you can read page 92, 94, 95 and 96, and we will do question answers in the next part of our assignments. Thank you.